So, when you think about a career in aviation, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's a pilot in the cockpit, right? Or maybe the cabin crew. But the thing is, for every single plane up in the sky, there's this huge, incredibly complex operation back on the ground that makes it all possible. So, today, let's dive into the world of aviation management, the career that, really runs the whole show.
This is something you hear all the time from people in the industry. It's what they absolutely love about the job. Forget your typical 9 to 5 grind. A career in aviation management is all about adventure, it's about excitement, and it's about solving brand new challenges every single day. Seriously, one morning you could be dealing with a freak snowstorm that's grounding the entire fleet, and that afternoon you're coordinating the arrival of a VIP. It is a super fast paced world where you are right at the heart of the action.
And this goes way beyond just booking your summer vacation. Aviation is, quite literally, the backbone of our global economy. It's how that package you ordered shows up at your door overnight. It's how businesses connect with markets on the other side of the planet, and how families and cultures stay connected across vast oceans. It really does touch everyone's life every single day. Okay, so what does it actually mean to be an aviation manager? Who are these people that are orchestrating this incredible global dance from the ground? Let's get a really clear picture of what this role is all about. What's so fascinating is just the sheer scale of the ground operation. I mean, for a long time, airlines and airports were often run by former pilots. But the industry had this huge realization. To make the whole system work, you need way, way more support professionals on the ground than you have pilots in the air. The aviation manager, they're the leader of that massive, essential ground team. So in a nutshell, the aviation manager is the strategic brain of the entire operation. They're the ones making the big picture decisions, coordinating everything from flight schedules to airport security, and leading all these different teams to make sure every single flight is safe, efficient, and on time. And this right here just shows you how versatile this career path is. You are definitely not locked into one thing. You could find yourself managing the day-to-day chaos at a major international airport, or maybe developing the route strategy for a huge airline. You could be overseeing a global air cargo fleet, or even working for an aircraft manufacturer. The opportunities are just about endless. All right, so let's say you're interested. You're thinking, this time's pretty cool, but how do you actually get there? Well, let's map out the flight plan for launching your career in this incredible field. It really just boils down to a pretty straightforward 3-step process. You can think of it like your own personal pre-flight checklist. First, get the right education. Second, build up that specialized knowledge. And third, get some real hands-on experience. So let's break each of those down. First things first, your education is your launch pad. A bachelor's degree is pretty much the standard requirement to get in the door. You could go for a super specialized degree in aviation management, or you could come at it from related fields like business administration or even aerospace engineering. That academic foundation, that's your ticket to the game. And this is what's so cool about a degree in this field. You really get the best of both worlds. So on one hand, you get this rock-solid foundation in core business skills. We're talking economics, marketing, project leadership. But then you get to layer on top of that all this highly specialized aviation knowledge, like airport management, aviation law, and airline network planning. It's a really powerful combination that'll make you stand out. All right, on to step 2. Aviation is one of the most heavily regulated industries on the planet, and for a very good reason, right? Safety is everything. So, understanding the rules set by bodies like the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, and in the US, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, well, that's not just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential. Knowing this stuff shows employers you're serious. And finally, step 3, and this one's huge. You have got to get your hands dirty. Nothing, and I mean nothing, beats practical, on-the-ground experience. Getting internships or those entry-level roles, maybe as an operations coordinator or a ground handling supervisor, is just invaluable. That's where you really learn the business and the real-world pressures of keeping this giant, complex machine moving smoothly. So, once you've landed that first job, how do you start climbing the ladder? Let's take a look at how you can take your career from takeoff to a steady cruising altitude, and, what the future holds for leaders in aviation. Moving up in your career really all comes down to continuous growth. Strong leadership and communication skills, those are totally non-negotiable. You've got to get out there and network at major industry events, earn those respected certifications from groups like IATA, that's the International Air Transport Association, and most importantly, you have to stay adaptable.
This industry is always changing, and the best leaders are always learning. And that kind of commitment, it usually comes from a real passion for what you do. People in the industry, they call it the aviation bug. They say once you're part of this unique, tight-knit world and you feel that energy, it's just really hard to imagine doing anything else. It becomes more than a job. It kind of becomes part of who you are.
Now, why does any of this matter for your future? Well, take a look at this number. According to the International Air Transport Association, global air traffic is expected to double by 2040. Just stop and think for a second about what that really means for the airports, the airlines, the technology, and the management required to handle all of that.
Right. That explosion in traffic, plus all the new technologies coming down the pipeline like sustainable fuels and advanced automation, it all points to one thing. The demand for skilled, adaptable, forward-thinking aviation managers is about to absolutely skyrocket. The industry needs a whole new generation of leaders to navigate what's coming next. So, the big takeaway here is that a career in aviation management isn't just a job. It's a chance to be a leader in an industry that literally connects the entire world. The field is growing, the challenges are exciting, and the opportunity is just immense. So, I guess the only question left is, are you ready for takeoff?